everyone, and welcome to today's video. So today I just wanted to share with you guys some books that I picked up at the library. I went in to pick up a few holds, and of course I couldn't just go to the hold shelf. I had to look through the entire library because no control. Absolutely no control. Bad enough that I buy so many books and then I bring home borrowed books and I can never read all of them, and it just makes me so sad. It is what it is. So let's just go through these books. I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to pick a book off the pile and share it with you guys. The first one I got is Dracula by Bram Stoker. I don't actually own this classic, so I picked it up at the library and I'm actually almost finished. I'm about 75% of the way through, so almost done. It's so good. I'm loving this book so much, and I can't wait to talk about it in my wrap up because it's just great. It's great. I love it. I love it so much. So this is the first one. I also picked up a DVD, so not a book, but I got North and South, and this is one of my favorite. It's a mini series, but I call it a movie because it's, I think, 4 episodes. Yes, so it's 4 episodes, but it's like a super long movie to me. But yeah, this is just absolutely incredible. Just amazing. Can't wait to watch it again. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I need to get myself a copy, but I will keep borrowing it from the library until that happens. Alrighty, this next one I'm kind of iffy on. I'm not sure if I want to read it just because I heard it's quite witchy and that's not really my thing. But if any of you have read this book, let me know what your thoughts were because I'm not too sure. And that is The Glass Woman by Caroline Lee. This, I think, is set in Iceland, sorry. So it says 1686 Iceland, an isolated, windswept land haunted by witch trials and steeped in the ancient sagas. I'm gonna butcher these pronunciations, I'm so sorry. But it says, betrothed unexpectedly to John Eriksson, Rosa is sent to join her new husband in the remote village of a word I can't say. Here the villagers are wary of outsiders, but Rosa harbors her own suspicions. Her husband buried his first wife alone in the dead of night. He will not talk of it. Instead, he gives her a small glass figurine, and she does not know what it signifies. The villagers mistrust them both. Dark threats are whispered. There's an evil here. Rosa can feel it. Is it her husband, the villagers, or the land itself? Alone and far from home, Rosa sees the darkness coming. She fears she will be its next victim. So it sounds really good. Like, this is the type of book I'd love to pick up. And even the end papers just make it feel so chilly and wintry and just atmospheric. Yeah, like if it's just one of those books that goes really in depth into witchcraft and stuff, that's just not my thing. So please do let me know if you've read it and if you think I'd like it. Next we have The Coming Storm by Regina Hansen. And I heard that this is kind of like a middle grade horror inspired by Anne of Green Gables and Prince Edward Island, which I think is really interesting. I love Anne of Green Gables. I've always wanted to visit Prince Edward Island, and I do like spookier books that are not like too scary. And yeah, this cover's really cute. I don't know. We'll see what I think about it. It says, there's a certain wild magic in the salt air and the thrum of the sea. Beat McNeil has known this all her life. It added spice to her childhood adventures when, with her older cousin Jerry, the two of them as thick as thieves as they explored their Prince Edward Island home. So when Jerry comes up the path one early spring morning, Beat thinks nothing of it, not until she realizes that he brings with him the scent of blooming roses, even though the garden is bare. He's dripping wet and silent, but he plays a haunting tune on his fiddle that chills Beat to the bone. Something is very, very wrong. Things only get worse when Marina Shaw saunters into town and takes an unsettling interest in Gary's new baby. Local lore is filled with tales of a vicious, shape-shifting sea creature and the cold, beautiful woman who controls him. A woman who bears a striking resemblance to Marina. Beat is determined to find out what happened to her beloved cousin and to prevent the same fate from befalling the handsome young man who is winning her heart, whether she wants him to or not. Yet the sea always exacts a price. I love the ocean. I love Prince Edward Island, the idea of Prince Edward Island, and this just sounds really, really good. So yeah, definitely excited to try this one out if I get a chance to. Next is a book that I've seen no one talk about, like no one. I don't think anyone that I follow on Goodreads has read it or has added it to their to be read shelf, and I haven't seen anyone talk about it on BookTube, but I think this is a new book. So it actually came out this year and I just picked it up on a whim from the library, and that is Elsewhere by Alexis Chaikin? I don't know. Anyways, Elsewhere, I have heard that this is like a dystopian sci-fi. I actually don't want to read the summary. If it is a sci-fi kind of dystopian book, I'd like to go in not knowing as much as I can. But the little blurb at the top says, that it is a community in which girls become wives, wives become mothers, and some of them quite simply disappear. So it sounds like a mystery, I guess, sci-fi dystopian book. But yeah, this should be a very quick read, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. This is actually just over 200 pages, so I could probably even read this in a day, but really intrigued. I also got 9 Perfect Strangers by Liane Moriarty. I have read Big Little Lies by her and loved it. So good. And so I am hoping that I like this one as well. This one's quite big, but we'll see. I don't want to know anything about it going in because it's a thriller, and that's how I usually approach thrillers and mysteries. I like to know as little as possible. But I think this has to do with like a retreat that 9 strangers go on and weird things start happening. So, but yeah, I'm really curious to see how I will like it as compared to Big Little Lies. These next 2 books are by an author I've never read from, and that is Peter Swanson. And so the 2 books I got are Every Vow You Break and 9 Lives. If any of you guys have read these 2 books, let me know which one you think I should read first. I don't know if any of them are in a series. I've literally heard nothing about these. I have heard Peter Swanson is a great thriller author. I don't know. They just seem to be fun mysteries. I'm not going to read the back. You know why. But yeah. This one says the lies started with I do, so I'm assuming it has to do with a wedding. And 9 Lives says if you're on the list, someone wants you dead. So I want to try at least one of these. Let me know which one you think I should pick first. And I got this beast of a historical fiction. It's over 600 pages, so I'm not sure if I'll get it read. But I've heard good things about it, and I've heard good things about the first author on the list. And so I got The Glass Ocean by Beatrice Williams, Lauren Willig, and Karen White. And I've heard great things about the first author. So I don't know anything about this book. This looks like it is dual timeline. So we have May 2013. Sarah Blake is struggling to find an idea for her next book. Desperate, she opens a chest that belonged to her great-grandfather who died when the Lusitania was sunk by a German U-boat. What she discovers could change history. I don't think I've ever read a historical fiction set around the sinking of the Lusitania, and that's definitely a part of history that I'm interested in. And then going back to 1915, we have Caroline. She's struggling with her marriage. She's hoping a trip in the Lusitania's first class will help them reconnect. Restless, she's determined to take charge of her own life. Then we have Tess Fairweather. She's returning home to Devon, or at least that's her story. The truth is, she's the daughter of a con man. Her partner has promised that if they pull off one last heist, they'll leave the game behind. Tess wants to believe that, but she has an uneasy feeling about this job. This book is huge. And yeah, dual timeline is something I enjoy, so we'll see if I do get to it. But if any of you have read it, let me know what you thought. Next, I got Quartet in Autumn by Barbara Pym. This was in my autumn book list, and the title is, self-explanatory. This one I heard was really, really emotional. I've never read anything by Barbara Pym. I do have her book, Excellent Women, but I think I'll save that one for next spring or summer. I'm pretty sure I read the synopsis for this one in my book list, so I'm not going to reread it here, but again, I heard it's really emotional, and it is about a group of 4 middle-aged people and I guess their lives and everything. So I'm going to try to prioritize this out of the books that I got because it is set in the autumn and I do want to read a Barbara Pym, so hopefully this will get read soon. So at the library, I was looking through some of the new books and I found a book that I've actually never heard about, but the cover drew me in, and that is The Circus Train by Amita Parikh. And both words are buzzwords for me. The word circus, the word train, I'm definitely drawn. And then I read The Flap, and it is historical fiction, which sounds great. So it says, at the World of Wonders, Europe's most magnificent traveling circus, every moment is full of magic and nothing is as it seems, especially for the people who put on the show. Lena has never quite found her place within the circus, even as the daughter of the extraordinary headlining illusionist Theo. Brilliant and curious, Lena yearns for the real-world magic of science and medicine, despite her father's overprotection and the limits her world places on her because she's disabled. Her unconventional life takes an exciting turn when she rescues, I can't say that word today. Oh my goodness. Like the 3rd time. Oh Lord. When she rescues Alexander, an orphan with his own secrets and mysterious past. As their friendship flourishes over several years and Alexander trains as the illusionist's apprentice, World War II escalates around them. When Theo and Alexander find themselves contracted to work and perform in a model town for Jews that was set up by the Nazis, Lena is separated from everything she knows. Forced to make her own way, Lena must confront her doubts and dare to believe in the impossible herself. Full of the power of believing in magic of all kinds, the Circus Train takes readers on a heart-wrenching and spectacular 2-decade journey across Europe. Along the way, it asks a vital question. When all is lost, how do you find the courage to keep moving forward? It looks like it actually starts off in Greece in the 20s and then during World War II as well. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for this. I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but it just sounds so good, and it has disability representation, which I want to read more books with disability rep. Definitely excited for this one. Next is a book that is well beloved by a lot of people who love sci-fi and like dystopian books, and I'm pretty sure this is sci-fi. I don't remember a lot about what this book is actually about, but I've just heard amazing things, and that is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I haven't read anything by Patrick Ness. I know he's also known for his book Monster, something with monsters, but I've never read anything by him. But this one says, Prentice Town isn't like other towns. Everyone can hear everyone's thoughts in an overwhelming, never-ending stream of noise. But in a town where privacy is impossible, there is a secret so awful that Todd, still a month shy of being a man, must run for his life. But how do you escape when your pursuers can hear your every thought? So I'm thinking this is like a sci-fi thriller. I'm not sure, but I've heard amazing things and I have high hopes. I also got Velvet Was the Night by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I have never read anything by her. She is really well known for Mexican Gothic, but I just feel like I'm too much of a wimp for that book, so have not picked that one up. Maybe one day I'll have the courage to do so. I haven't heard a lot about Velvet Was the Night though. I don't know what the general consensus is about this book. I have no idea what to expect because I've never read anything by her. So this one says, 1970s Mexico City, Mate is a secretary who lives for one thing, the latest issue of Secret Romance. While student protests and political unrest consume the city, Mate escapes into stories of passion and danger. Her next-door neighbor, Leonora, a beautiful art student, seems to live a life of intrigue and romance that Mate envies. When Leonora disappears under suspicious circumstances, Mate finds herself searching for the missing woman and journeying deeper into Leonora's secret life of student radicals and dissidents. Meanwhile, someone else is also looking for Leonora at the behest of his boss, a shadowy figure who commands goon squads dedicated to squashing political activists. Elvis is an eccentric criminal who longs to escape his own life. He loathes violence and loves old movies and rock and roll. But as Elvis searches for the missing woman, he watches Mate from a distance and regards her as a kindred spirit who shares his love of music and the unspoken loneliness of his heart. Now, as Mate and Elvis come closer to discovering the truth behind Leonora's disappearance, they can no longer escape the danger that threatens to consume their lives, with hitmen, government agents, and Russian spies all aiming to protect Leonora's secrets at gunpoint. So yeah, sounds interesting. We'll see if I end up reading it and what I think. Next is a book that I've heard nothing but praise for, and that is The Paris Dressmaker by Christy Cambron. I think she's a Christian fiction author. And yeah, I've just heard amazing things about her. Okay, the synopsis for this is really long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. But it does have two timelines. One is Paris 1939, and one is just a few years later, Paris 1943. And it has to do with dressmaking during, obviously, World War II, the Resistance, and the Ritz Hotel, and yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I need another World War II novel to blow me away, because the most recent World War II novel that I read was meh. I'll talk about that book in my August wrap up, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that this is a really good one. I also got The Well by Stephanie Lansom. I have two of her books right now. I have this one, which is In a Far Off Land, and then on one of my higher shelves, I have the second book in this trilogy. So this is the first book. And the second book is The Thief, and I read that one years ago, but I remember just being blown away. I absolutely loved it, and I definitely want to reread it, but I haven't read books 1 and 3 in the trilogy, so I want to read The Well, reread the second book, and then read the third book. So this trilogy is set during Jesus' ministry, and each of the 3 stories has to do with a different woman in the Bible. This one is really short. I feel like I'm going to fly through it, but I've just heard amazing things, and with how much I loved The Thief, which is the second book, I think this one's gonna be at least 4 stars for me. So yeah, really excited to read this one. I'm really bummed that the library did not have book 3, so one day I will have to buy books 1 and 3 just so I can have the entire trilogy. All right, so the last collection of books here are all picture books, which is not something I typically read. You don't see me reviewing picture books on my channel because I don't know, I'm just not really drawn to them. But I was looking at the library and I found a picture book that I remember reading in elementary school, and the nostalgia hit like If you are the type of person that gets consumed by nostalgia, you know the feeling that I'm talking about. You see something and it just triggers all these memories, and then you need it, and you need all of those memories to just, you need to like relive everything. So I picked up that book, and then I saw other books, and I put a bunch more on hold, but they won't arrive for another few weeks. So I just got the ones that I could. And so we have these picture books here. And I think most of them are actually fairy tales that I, again, read in elementary school and I absolutely loved. They just brought me so much joy, and I'm so excited. The first one is Rumpelstiltskin by Paul Zelinsky, and I'm just like, it's just the memories, man. I remember going to my school library and taking this book out over and over and over again. I don't know why I was so obsessed with Rumpelstiltskin. This was my introduction to the fairy tale. So it's just so special to me. Oh my goodness. The nostalgia. Also by Paul Zelinsky, we have Rapunzel, and this one I actually did not read in elementary school, but it is the same illustrator as the previous book, so really, really excited. Then we got this adorable book. We got Mother Goose and Friends by Ruth Sanderson. Just so cute. And then I have The Golden Mare, The Firebird, and The Magic Ring. This is another one that I was obsessed with in elementary school. Absolutely obsessed. We have Sleeping Beauty, and this one's illustrated by K.Y. Craft. And I currently have the Cinderella story illustrated by this person on hold, and that one I was even more obsessed with. But yeah, Cinderella, I think I got out from the library like 20 times at least when I was in like 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. It's just my heart. Then we have The Snow Princess, and this one just... beautiful. My Christmas mood is not over, so of course I had to get The Night Before Christmas by Clement Clark Moore and illustrated by Ruth Sanderson. And then last Christmas, I read a picture book that was The Nutcracker based on the New York City Ballet. And then I just found out that they also have Swan Lake, and I'm pretty sure it's the same illustrator. And I gave the picture book of The Nutcracker 5 stars. It was just beautiful. I loved it so much, and I'm so excited to read this one and just gush over the illustrations. I love ballets, I love The Nutcracker, I love Swan Lake, and I'm just ecstatic about this. I'm just so excited. All right, I think that's enough blubbering and nostalgia for one video, but those are the books that I got from the library today. Actually, I picked all of them up today. And I do have a lot more coming in, but they're going to be coming in sporadically throughout the next month, so I decided to just film this video, just, you know, share what I currently have out from the library. I just love book hauls. I love watching them, and I love library hauls as well. And it's just always so fun to share what we are collecting, what we're buying and borrowing from the library, and it's a lot of fun. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If any of these books are books that you've enjoyed in the past and would recommend to me, let me know in the comments, because it would definitely be an encouragement for me to actually prioritize those books. So as usual, I am so appreciative of each of you guys for watching my videos, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye.